Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Layo Adegoke. We begin in Burundi, where the late President Pierre Nkurunziza has been buried in the capital, Gitega. Mr. Nkurunziza, who ruled for nearly 15 years, is said to have died from a heart attack, but there are speculations he had coronavirus and his wife had been ill with the disease. He was expected to officially hand over power to his successor, Evariste Ndayishimiye, who won the elections held in May. Ndayishimiye has since been sworn in 2 months earlier than planned. The former president was due to be named the Supreme Guide to Patriotism. Burundi's government had urged the public to line the streets in a show of respect to him for the last honors. We have joining us now Sergis Nzisabina, an activist in Bujumbura. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Tell us what the mood is like today in Burundi, even as the president, Nkurunziza, is being laid to rest.
The mood is, I would say that the mood is not good, and because now we had 3 weeks of mourning, and today is the burial of His Excellency, the late President Pierre Nkurunziza. In the country, it is a public holiday, but also if you walk out, you could see that there is something which changed. So I would say that the mode is mourning mode.
I suppose a lot of Burundians will miss the former president. He ruled for about 15 years. What kind of comments and remarks are being made by Burundians today, even as they say their final goodbyes to their former leader?
First of all, I would like to say that he is the first president democratically elected who ruled for 15 years. So that means that he ruled the country more than any other president in this country. So he was a beloved president, and the comments that people are sending are related to what he did for the country, and some saying that they will what miss the transformation that he brought in this country. So, and other comments from outside of Burundi, they say the president died in a way that no one was expecting. And somewhere they say that he would have waited until he saw how his successor will rule the country. So the comments are mixed with emotions. And today, some people now have accepted that he has died, because since the 8th of June, people have been asking themselves, how could a president died like this? But today now was the day where they saw clearly that he has gone. So the comments are mixed. Yeah.
Indeed, his death was surprising. But let's talk about the new president. What role has he played in the funeral? And again, he made a few statements during his inauguration about things not being business as usual. Does this mean he would be making a clear distinction between him and the way the former president ruled the country?
First of all, I would like to say that His Excellency, the President Evariste Ndayishimiye, was a friend, a near friend of the late President Pierre Nkurunziza. And during the inaugural statements, he said that he would like to continue the legacy, but also the realizations of President Nkurunziza. If we say that he will change the politics, he will change the policies maybe, and he will adopt another system of governance, I don't think so. He will continue in the path of his successor, but also predecessor, but also I would say that he has played a significant role today, but also in the preparation of the event of today. So, and I will say that the president now, of course, he may made some of differences and a distinction because he's a leader of the country, and the times actually are different considering the situation now. He may come up with a slight distinction, but the politics will remain the same, and he will continue in the perspective of Pierre Nkurunziza.
All right, just before I let you go, in continuing those legacies of Nkurunziza, what are his promises to the people of Burundi during his time in office, new president Ndayishimiye?
He said he would like to build again the country by innovating other sectors that Nkurunziza have innovated. For example, in the sector of education, Nkurunziza has done much in that sector of education, by building a lot of schools everywhere, but also the sector of health. He said he will build roads everywhere to connect provinces, but also to try to renovate or bring back the cooperation with other countries. But also he said he will change much and try to improve the life of retired people. And he said also that young people need to come together and try to gather in small cooperatives so that they can get the capital in order to start their life. And he said he would like to support young people during his presidency. So we are expecting a lot of good things, but also we are asking for him to do as much as possible in order to develop this country.
All right then, Serges Insisabira, an activist in Bujumbura, thank you so much for speaking to us on the program.
Thank you too.
Malawians are eagerly awaiting the final results of Tuesday's presidential rerun election as the electoral chief justice Chifundo Kachali hints that it could be out by Saturday. Although official results are yet to be declared, state media says the opposition alliance candidate Lazarus Chakwera is heading for victory with 59% of the vote. Chakwera's party is also claiming victory in the election that was held again after allegations of widespread rigging of last year's poll that gave President Peter Mutharika a second term in office. Last year, Malawi became the second African nation to annul a presidential election over irregularities after Kenya in 2017. The UN Special Representative in the Democratic Republic of Congo is concerned about the political situation in the country, marked by tensions and an upswing of violence in certain parts of the eastern region. Leila Zerugu said the ruling coalition, composed of President Tshisekedi's party and former President Kabila's faction, continues to hold together, but there is serious tensions within the coalition, leading to an erosion of trust between its partners. However, she says that there remains an opportunity for long-term progress in the DRC to be realized, which can pave the way to a responsible and sustainable withdrawal of the mission in the coming years.
To remind interlocutors, I therefore spare no effort in the context of my good offices to remind interlocutors of the opportunity presented to them by the outcome of the 2018 electoral process, and that the country's progress rests on the readiness of actors across the political spectrum to put aside partisanship in order to prevent a political crisis which could have major consequences on the stability of the country. I condemn in the strongest terms attacks on displaced populations and the use of hate speech which incite further violence. Effort to desolidarize communities from these militia and preventing external actors from supporting their agenda will be vital to address the escalation of tensions in the area. To address these issues, MONUSCO continues to pursue a comprehensive approach which combines active troop deployments to hotspots areas, community engagement, the development of targeted protection strategies, and the provision of critical large-scale logistical support to FRDC operations.
Kenya's police chief says an inquiry will be held into the killing of some people by the police on Thursday, and he has ordered the immediate arrest and suspension of the officer who was involved. 3 people are said to have been killed in the western city of Lessos while protesting against the arrest of a motorcycle taxi driver for flouting coronavirus restrictions. The police said they were attacked by the protesters, many of them motorbike taxi drivers. During Kenya's ongoing lockdown, police have been accused of killing at least 15 people while enforcing COVID-19 restrictions. On Tuesday, a police officer was charged with murdering a 13-year-old boy, Yasin Moyo, as he stood on a balcony watching them impose a nighttime curfew. All right, let's get more on this story from Cyrus Ombati. He's a Kenyan journalist in Nairobi. Cyrus, quickly, help us understand the situation that led to the death of these 3 people.
Good evening. Yeah, it's true. Well, the whole problem started with a simple arrest of a motorbike rider and 2 pillion passengers who were with him because they were not wearing face masks for the protection of this COVID issue in Kenya. So when the police had arrested the rider and the 2 passengers, there was a form of resistance. The other riders joined in, tried to kind of stop the whole process of arrest, and the group became rowdy and rude, fighting off the officers who were behind the arrest. So in the process, one of the officers discharged his gun. It hit a cobbler who was some distance away, and then the cobbler died. This now sparked the whole problem chaos in town. It was a small town. It's a small town in the western part of the country. The protesters now became huge in group, in number. They're calling each other. They stormed the police station. They tried to kind of stage some form of looting. They were repulsed. They targeted the local commander's house. They burnt it down. And then in the process, now when police were trying to repulse the other group, they shot dead 2 more. So the total number of people who were killed then were 3 then. But then there were almost 12 others who were shot and injured in the process of now police trying to repulse the group from accessing the police station or carrying out further destruction. So that's what happened, which to many think it was unfortunate and uncalled for now. Thank you.
All right, Cyrus Ombati, Kenyan journalist, bringing us up to speed with that story. Well, we'll have more on Network Africa still ahead. Mobile applications continue to spring up as part of efforts in fighting COVID-19. We'll have more on our Africa Tech segment. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Rwandan authorities have imposed a stay-at-home order in parts of the capital, Kigali, following a rise in new cases of coronavirus. People living in Gikondo Hill in Kikukiro district and some parts of Mount Kigali have been ordered to immediately stay home for a period of at least 15 days. That's according to a statement from the Interior Ministry. The order was announced on Thursday night, and many residents woke up on Friday unaware of it. The Interior Ministry says it reinstated the lockdown based on analysis by health officials over coronavirus status in Kigali. Rwanda has in the past 7 days recorded 204 new cases, 21 of them in the capital. Well, about 900 vulnerable families have been connected with sponsors who offer financial help and volunteers who give mental health support through this pandemic in Ethiopia. The project is the brainchild of BAD Foundation, an established Ethiopian NGO which focuses on helping the most vulnerable in the society.
In a poor suburb of Addis Ababa, Zara Medusia, her 2 young children, and her unemployed brother flicked through a photo album filled with memories of happier times. Zara's husband abandoned her when she was pregnant with her son, Khalid. Soon after, she found out she was HIV positive. Then came the news. She had breast cancer. She's now undergoing chemotherapy. Zara had nowhere to turn until Dr. Bilal Shukr and the My Family project that he helped set up came in to assist.
This is huge for me. I don't have money to pay rent. I don't have a job as I am still an hospital outpatient, and my brother is also out of work.
The project was set up in May by the Badir Foundation, an established Ethiopian NGO which focuses on helping the most vulnerable in society.
Monthly 2,000 Ethiopian birr. So in addition to the economic support, that family will consider the needy family as his own family or as her own family and do whatever they can do. They can give them psychological support, socio-economic support, and other support. So my family project is basically a social safety net program where families, support each other.
It's a special moment for Zara and her family as they finally get to see and chat with their sponsor, Bethlehem Mekonnen, an Ethiopian-born nurse now working in Washington, D.C. The two families are separated by thousands of miles and live very different lives, but have developed a strong connection.
Even though we all are struggling everywhere in the world, what I'm thinking is there are people suffering more than we have over here. So we are responsible trying to kind of help and support as much as possible.
Ethiopia has had over 5,034 cases of coronavirus and over 78 deaths, but many more families have been affected by the economic slowdown.
Kenya's tourism industry has taken a huge hit in recent months with the closing of borders and grounding of many of its planes. No tourists mean grounded planes for Kenya operator Safari Link Aviation, as the CEO earnestly awaits news of when they can fly again.
Airplane tour operations in Kenya are frustrated to still have their feet on the ground as they continue to miss out on what should be a busy time. They usually find the migration of 2 million animals in the region, which started in mid-June, their most lucrative time of the year. But they've not been going anywhere since aviation was grounded in March, as Kenya closed borders and stopped air travel.
Typically, during this period, we carry about, just going to the Mara, almost 10,000 passengers per month. So as you can see, all our aircraft are all parked, so there's nobody really going to witness this magnificent spectacle.
Across Africa, wildlife reserves and parks have closed their gates as tourists have stayed home, hitting the continent's multi-billion-dollar industry hard, leading to job cuts and loss of income to thousands. There is some hope, though, that migration season might not be a bust for everyone. One campsite in the heart of Kenya's capital, Nairobi's National Park, reopened on June 12th, but has done so under strict guidelines.
The feeling that today we have opened up, even with the conditions, is great. It is a good feeling for us and both our clients.
Most of its visitors, for now, are people who live in Nairobi, but they certainly haven't been disappointed by what they've seen so far.
Welcome to our Africa Tech segment. A Nigerian living in the UK has helped develop a coronavirus self-assessment application that will help individuals determine if they are candidates for a test. The app was created using the World Health Organization standard. Take a look.
As community transmission increases the cases of coronavirus in Nigeria, public health measures like washing of hands, wearing of masks, and maintaining a social distance have been highly recommended to help curb the spread. But it appears that isn't enough, as the numbers continue to rise, which is why Abiodun Ilori, a solution provider, has developed a coronavirus self-test app to help individuals assess their symptoms and determine if they're candidates for a test. Using the World Health Organization standard, Abiodun made the app an interactive solution that will help manage exposure to the virus.
This solution basically worked with all the guidelines given by WHO, and I digitalized it. It's highly customized, and because that gives us our analytics and data capture, daily answer to everything we need graphically. So we were able to monitor everything at home.
According to Abiodun, the app is available to everyone and can be customized to suit private or public business environment. It has metrics for graphical analysis, live data updates, and can be used to track intercommunal transmission, amongst others.
The only challenge we have right now is that we would like Google Apps, the Play Store, to publish it, and Apple as well. But right now, because coronavirus is a pandemic, they will not want to do that if we don't have a government support. So you click on self-test, and then you go straight to the first question, whether you've traveled in the last 14 days to any of the affected countries. The second question, which has to do with whether I've been in touch with anyone that has coronavirus in the last few hours or a day or two, or whichever one. So these are the answers as stated by WHO. Straight to the next question, whether I'm experiencing any difficulty in breathing. Any of the following symptoms, you have to pick the one that you feel is best suited for you. And the next one is for people with underlying ailment. So you have to accept the terms and conditions, and you submit to check your results. This is my result. It's showing me that I'm low.
Abiodun says he's willing to use his digital methodology to help Nigeria, as the solution will not only capture exposure level of individuals to the virus, but will also offer guidance on when to seek medical care.
Well, that's it on the program today and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Adegoke.